What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Motivational Monday. You're probably going to notice a little bit of a schedule change for us. So Rick and I just want to do a couple housekeeping items for you. Basically, what you're going to get a Motivational Monday every other Monday, and then you're going to get a podcast every other Tuesday. So the week that you get a podcast, you don't get a Motivational Monday. Then the next week you get the Motivational Monday, and then so on and so forth. So basically 2 Motivational Mondays a month and 2 podcasts a month is the format that we're going to go with. So during this transitional period, it's been something I wanted to do for a while. You're going to have to hang out a little bit longer on this one than what you normally do. I kind of wanted to answer the question of why do we even do the Motivational Monday? What does that have to do with the race car shop? Give you a little bit more of, my background of why it is that we do this. So, obviously if you watched it, you guys know that I'm a Christian. That's not something that I want to beat down anybody's throat or anything. That's just a personal belief that's got, me to where, my mental state, all the things that I share with you is basically from that foundation or from that point of view. I grew up in a Christian home for the most part. My mom is one of the most solid women you'll ever meet in your life. She's so sweet. A lot of the things that you hear through that have, my mom's name is Barb. So you've actually got a lot of Barb if you've watched this. She's just fantastic. My dad, loved my dad. Great dad, but really didn't give his life to Jesus until later on. I was already born when he gave his life to the Lord. So anyway, I'm saying all that to say this: I did grow up in a Christian home, but it wasn't really personal to me. I just went to church like most people do. You kind of got drugged there. I had to go. I grew up in like a little Baptist church, so it wasn't like they had this big budget to make Jesus cool. It was just, a little country church, basically. So anyway, I kind of went through that deal. And then as I got into high school, stuff like that, and did a lot of the same stuff that most high schoolers do. Until one day I met my buddy Justin, which Justin is a mutual friend of mine and Rick's. We've known him for a really long time, but this is the first time I met him. We were at the skate park. He had a dirt bike t-shirt on. And at the time, I thought dirt bikes were the coolest thing in the world. They're still pretty high up there on my list of cool things. Went to talk to Justin, just awesome dude, loved him. I was probably 13 at the time, and he might have been 19, something like that. Long story short, he invited us over to his house to go ride dirt bikes. And we ended up going over there. And he had like the coolest dirt bike that I've ever seen at that point in my life. I thought it was so rad. And it had all these cool stickers, just black wheels. It was a cool bike. I ended up buying that bike later on. But anyway, it had this like electrical tape Jesus fish on it. And I thought that was the strangest thing. I'm like, why did you ruin this like sweet looking dirt bike with this like terrible rendition of a Jesus fish? So anyway, we got to talking about it. And anyway, again, to kind of make a long story short, Justin really taught me what it was like to live a life for Jesus, and a non-judgmental life at that. And I think Ricky's sitting on the other side of me. He would probably really agree with what I just said. Justin and his family loved everybody. They still love everybody. They're just if you don't think the same way that they did, doesn't matter. They love you the way that you are. And for me, what I noticed now that I've gotten older is that his dad and mom in particular, Mr. and Mrs. Newman, gosh, man, they're just amazing people. What they carried with them was a lot of mental peace and a lot of physical peace. And I keep kind of bringing Ricky into this conversation, but you would agree, like when you went to their house, you could feel there was a peace there, right? It was just like it just felt really stable. And so they're Christians, the way that Mr. Newman runs their business, all these things, just fantastic. One of the things that they would do with us is we would all go to church with them on Sunday, and then they would take every one of us out to eat. There'd be like 10 to 15 boys sitting at this church with them, and then they would take us out to really nice lunches. Then we go ride dirt bikes. It was an awesome time in life. But then I kind of, from that group of people, I started meeting other older people. Chuck Whitlock is a person that you hear that you've got actually a bunch of stuff from him throughout Motivational Monday. You just didn't know Chuck's name. Chuck's almost 60 now, I think. If I get his age, you're always going to really hurt me. But Chuck, another person, just walked with the Lord a long time, just a lot of mental peace. And then there's a bunch of people that I could start naming. And what I figured out as a young man was a lot of these people that you couldn't shake, that just walked through life with a lot of positivity, that circumstances really didn't get them down. And like, I watched these people long enough and watched really real world things happen to them that the average person wouldn't handle it the way that they did. And that really spoke a lot to me. Like they weren't people that were constantly, shoving a Bible down your throat. And they weren't people that, even quoted Bible verses all the time. They just loved you. And I ended up, when I was like 21 years old, I ended up becoming a youth pastor, and I'm kind of making all this fast just for time's sake. But I ended up working as a youth pastor at this little Baptist church. And I loved that job, man. I kind of thought that that's what I would do, honestly, forever. I went to Bible college. I have I don't know, about a year or so worth of Bible college on my belt. I've never graduated, but I have some of that, and kind of really thought that was what I was going to do. And anyway, I still, at that point in my life, I really liked cars. I was messing with cars. We were kind of past the dirt bike phase and into this car thing, and loved the pastor of the church, all that stuff. He was a great guy. We kind of had some disagreements on some stuff, and the thing that he told me was, you need to devote more time to church and less time to messing with your car. Well, for me, when that happened, I was kind of young and bullheaded, and that really made me mad. And, we ended up leaving the church, and I left my job, and it wasn't my full-time job at the time, but left all that and never left Jesus, but I left that. And so then I kind of went on this, I don't know, I guess finding yourself journey is maybe what I was on. I don't know. But I started to do a lot of research into who Jesus was. And a couple of things really stuck out to me, that Jesus lived to about 33. That's what we kind of come through for this, and then beyond this, actual other historical documents and stuff like that, we think he was around 33. We know that Jesus' dad was a carpenter, but carpenter back then is probably a lot different than the way carpenters now. He, in the Jerusalem area where he was from, they believed that they worked a lot with rocks, stuff like that. That just trees weren't that plentiful. So, but to kind of conclude that thought, he was a construction worker, right? That's what he did. That's what his dad did. They also know that his dad died when he was pretty young. So Jewish culture, then he was the oldest. So if when his dad died, he would have been now in charge of his household, which what that would have meant was he was the breadwinner, right? He was the one that was going out and managing this business that his dad had created, that he stepped into. So it's kind of an interesting thought of thinking about Jesus managing a business. Like, that's interesting. The other thing that I found was interesting was he didn't go quote unquote into what we would consider ministry until he was like 30. So what he did, and what's recorded in here, was only 3 years of his life. So I'm saying all that to say this: what really spoke to me was that Jesus had a job, and that he went to work every day, and he knew what it was like to deal with customers and clients, and he was a real dude, right? Like, if he worked with big rocks, like, imagine what he was built like, right? Like, he probably had gnarly hands, all this stuff, cool stuff. And that journey of me kind of figuring out that, and then plus all the things that I had seen and all these older guys that I really looked up to, watching the Newmans do life, made me think about this in such a way that I know what it's done for me, and I know this mental stability personally that this has brought me, and how I like think through stuff. And man, I'd really like have to not like people to share that. And I think that's sometimes what Christians miss, is like, you got to love people where they're at. And if you look at the theme of Jesus, that's what he was amazing at, was loving people exactly where they were at, and not judging them. That's a whole another conversation, but he just loved people. And there's a couple verses about this. There's one in John. It's a section, actually. This is John 13:34 through 35, and it says, I give you a new commandment, I give you, love one another as I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this, all men will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another. And that's what he's saying, is people should know us from our love. They don't need to know us by our opinions. They don't need to know us by our political views. They don't need to, I get that. But they should first know us by the way that we love people. And then this is in Colossians. This is Colossians 4:6. And it says, let your conversations be always full of grace, seasoned with salt, so you may know how to answer everyone. So let your conversation always be full of grace. It doesn't say like halfway full or just a little bit. It says full of grace. So the reason why you saying all this, the reason that we do Motivational Monday is, I think, from my Christian worldview, that we need to do a better job of loving people exactly where they are, to encourage them through life. And we just need more of that, man. We need more of it. And I want to see, and I don't get it right all the time. Like, I do not get it right. Like, I mess stuff up all the time. I don't make perfect decisions. I yell at my kids. My wife will tell you that we fight just like anybody else. Like, but I try, right? Like, I really try to give back, right? Because I know that what it's done for me, I can't deny it. So that's why we do this. We just want to show people that there's always another way to look at something. There's always a way to bring positivity into the conversation. And to be honest, man, we're probably living in some of the most mental unhealthy times that there is. And we have this little platform in life. And I think that when you're given a platform, big, small, in the middle, whatever it is your responsibility to society to use that platform to help better people. That's why we do this. I don't always have the best ideas. I don't always have a Motivational Monday ready. Sometimes be honest with you, sometimes I'll go back and watch Motivational Mondays to get ready for Motivational Monday. Because I need it too, So sometimes you'll hear a Motivational Monday that comes from me that's a point of strength. It's something that I'm pretty decent at. But sometimes you get a Motivational Monday from something that I'm weak at, something that I'm struggling with, something that I'm trying to work through. So I just want to challenge you to look at the people that you're surrounding yourself with. And that's probably one of the most consistent themes of Motivational Mondays. We're always talking about who you're surrounding yourself with, the people that you're doing life together. I think that's the most important one, that you have people that you can lean on, and you're like, man, I can't find those people. Well, they're out there. I can't answer 100% of where you find those people, but they're out there. And look at the people that are mentally stable, right? Like that, probably getting harder to find by the day. But look at those people that their foundation doesn't get shook. Look at those people that when something happens, they make it through the other side of that. And it's like I know it phases everybody, but they go through it with grace and humility, and it's something to watch. It's beautiful. So I hope that's what you get from these, right? We don't come from a place of that we or me or any of us have it all together. We're simply trying to go through this adventure of life and give away stuff that we think is important. So I love you. We love you. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your week.